episode of Behind the Spotlight. I hope you caught the one we had earlier with Haley Luckadoo. What a great conversation. But we're going to switch gears a little bit because we have Krissy Chin coming on today, or actually right now. And Krissy, I'm really excited about her because not only does she, oh, here she is already. I love when my guests, I hope she comes. Here she comes. There she is.
Hello.
Good morning, my friend. How are you?
I'm good. That happens like flawlessly. Love my network.
Don't say it out loud. It's one of those things. I was just getting to like how you're an author and you're a podcast host and you do all these amazing things, but why don't we let you, I'd really love to learn more about you and like how you got started in this crazy entrepreneur game.
Yeah. Well, it's been a long journey. Gosh, I started over 10 years ago, which is just crazy to think about that. But I was a nurse before, so I had no background in business, never thought about being an entrepreneur and just wanted more. I wanted more time freedom. I wanted more financial freedom. And I was like, I want some things that cost money. We want a lake house. We want to travel the world. And I was like, okay, my quarter a raise every year is not going to cut it. Didn't want to go back to school. And so I just started saying yes to things that I was getting exposed to. And originally, all of my beginning LLCs were in the health and wellness space, teaching people how to live healthy. And just one yes and, some, oh, that's not for me. Let's shut that business down. Let's shut that idea down, led to now what I'm doing, which is I'm teaching people how to take their knowledge, their skills, their passions, and turn them into a business. And that just all happened because in this journey, I got into direct sales, which I said I would never do. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. And then I was like, oh, wait, that's what this is. I just would talk about things I love. Okay, I can do that. And in the process, I was trying to build my business faster. And so I started creating resources for my team to use. And the light bulb went off one day when I was telling some other people in the company about it. And they're like, oh, can we have that? Like, can we get access? And I was like, oh, probably. And I was like, maybe I could charge them. And so that's really how it started, the business idea for Grow Workspace, which was not the very first business, but I talk about it kind of as the first successful business with my partner and youngest sister, Claire. And we grew that membership to 6,000 members. Gosh, the first month we had 1,400 paying subscribers. We hit $1 million in the first 20 months of our business. And y'all, it was just a crazy, unbelievable ride that I'm just so grateful for. But then people started asking, how do I create a course? How do I create a membership? Like, how do I take what I know and love and enjoy and turn that into a business? And so we launched another business. First, it was me by myself, my personal brand. And now we just rebranded to KNC Creative because Claire's doing it alongside me because we're the perfect duo to do it together. So
that's so nice. I have an older sister. And she's a teacher. She's never coming into the business, but I really appreciate, because I grew up in a family business. So I really appreciate really leaning into like having that solid partner, because so often you hear about people who have partners that just doesn't work out. But when it's your sister, there's no choice.
Yeah.
And I know.
Yeah, I know family that it has not worked out in business. So I am just so grateful. The thing that works, and I know like we're not here to talk about partnerships, but what really works is that we're different. Right. And what I'm good at, she's not horrible, but like that's not her area of expertise. Like I'm great with the business strategy, the marketing, the sales, the mindset, and her zone of genius is design. And so we do so we're never really stepping on each other's toes. We can just support each other and what we do best. So it has worked really well.
It's really nice, but that's also why people work with us, because what we're good at is not what they're good at, what our clients are good at. That's why we need us in the corner. And I love something that you talk about all the time is like, done is better than perfect. Yeah. That is like, it should be everybody's motto. I was wondering like how that happened for you, or is that something like, was there an incident that happened that you made that decision, and how has that helped you in really building these businesses?
Yeah, I mean, naturally, I tend to just have a big vision and a dream, and then I'm like, I have no idea how I'm going to get there. But my dad always taught us to just put one foot in front of the other. Just do the next thing, and just do the next thing, and then do the next thing, and then before you know it, you're halfway there, or you're like, how am I even doing this? I don't know. I'm just putting one foot in front of the other. So I think just naturally, and kind of how I was taught, was just do the next thing. And I wouldn't say I'm a perfectionist, but then I do catch myself in these circles of like, why am I not launching this? Why am I not putting this out? And then I'm like, because I'm trying to make it perfect. So I don't identify as a perfectionist, but I definitely can catch myself in those moments. And I've just realized that I have to just put it out there, and I can't wait until it's perfect, because it's never going to be perfect. And that was like writing the book, right? And I can't remember who it was. Was it Donald Miller? I think I was listening to him on a podcast, and he was like, I just, once the book is 80% good, I put it out there, because otherwise I can just keep tweaking and tweaking. And it's the same with everything that we do. Like, your 80%, they're going to see it as 100%.
Yes.
Like, it's good. It's good enough. And that's what I see most people getting stuck up on in business, is waiting until it's perfect, waiting until the right moment. And then a year goes by and they haven't acted on this idea, or actually they've had this course created, something created, and they've never sold it, and it's been a year. And I found myself in that place once after launching a course, and then I wanted to set it up evergreen, on this evergreen funnel where people could buy it all the time. And I wanted such like the perfect experience, and all of the trinkets hooked up, and all the automations. And I just didn't have the time or the space, or I think maybe also there was an underlying like fear of, what if this doesn't actually work? And I sat on it for an entire year and didn't do anything, right? There's always something else. So I love mindset. There's always something deep in there, And once I was like, what's the worst that's going to happen? Like, no one's going to buy it, and you're going to tweak it and do something else. But yeah, so that stops people up a lot. And I teach my students that all the time, and they'll just say, Krissy, I just heard you were sitting on my shoulder and you were saying done is better than perfect. And it got me to put it out there. And then, like, look what happened. I signed up my first beta client for $3,500 for the thing. And it's like, that just makes my heart so happy.
I love that. I'll tell you what the experience that I kind of had that this morning. I did some B-roll for my social media team, and my sweater's a little bigger, and it, I just didn't love the way that it looked in the video. And I was like, just send it to her. Who cares? Like, no one's going to be looking at your stomach, right? Just me. I'm looking at like my hair doesn't look. And it was, but it's a good reminder, because when I was sitting down to go over your stuff, and I was like, right, my done is somebody else's perfect.
Yeah.
And
we are our own. Yeah, we are our own worst critic. This happens like in photo shoots, when we'll do photo shoots for the business, and there's two of us. So like, two have to be happy with the photo, like, let alone, like, it's hard enough to have one person happy, now two. And I'll go through pictures and I'll heart the ones I love. And then Claire's like, oh my God, I look awful in that. I'm like, oh my God, I think you look so cute. And then like, she loves one, and I'm like, oh my God, like, what's my face doing? I'm like, I'm just like, you look great. And I'm like, so we nitpick on those little things, and someone else is seeing something totally different.
I appreciate us having this conversation. So I think a lot of people who are starting out, and probably a lot of your clients, look at what we do and look at what we put out with such like a stars and sparkle, right? Everything's so great, but we're like, and in the inside, we're like, that wasn't so great. Yeah. And I think that probably translates to like the helping your clients really take their knowledge and create those digital programs from them. Because I can see how they get stuck along the way. What are like the top things that you really see are stopping people from creating their knowledge-based digital product?
Something I heard yesterday, someone said, there's not enough people to buy what I have, what I'm teaching. And I was like,
okay.
Yes, there is. I'm in a group of 100 women who would literally be like, yes, sign me up. You don't have to have 1 million people. You don't have to have hundreds of thousands. You don't even have to have thousands of people, depending on what you have. I mean, we started with that first month, that's atypical, right? That doesn't typically happen unless you have a big audience, 1,400 paying subscribers.
A lot.
We had a subscription model. So because of the model that we had, and y'all, it was $5 a month to join. So like, they're like, oh, I have to sell something that's $2,000. No, you don't. No, you don't. You need the right offer. You need to know who your ideal customer is, and you need to have like a good system in place. And we scaled that baby and made $1 million in 20 months with not hundreds of thousands of people, and our email list was not that massive. And so there are enough people. Like, what if you just had 100 people? Like, what if you could just serve 100 people? By the way, like, how much of an impact could you make with 10 people? to start. Like, it's going to just start slow most of the time, unless, again, you have this audience built up, or you get in front of like someone with a big audience. I love that strategy. Right away, you know, it can grow really fast. So it does happen. But that's just what I hear. Like, there's not enough people to buy my offer, or I'm not teaching anything new. Yeah.
Judgment.
Either is the yoga studio that just opened up down the road. Like, same thing, different vibe, right? So you are unique because you are you. No one else has your experience. No one else has your stories. No one else has your knowledge. And so that's all you need. You can sell something, you can put something out there on a similar topic as someone else, and people are going to be attracted to you and in your unique process and how you teach it. So don't believe that your thing isn't unique enough. Okay, so not enough people out there to purchase. My idea is not unique enough. I'm trying to think of anything else that people just say.
Those are really great ones, because it's actually the same thing I hear from my clients. Like, I don't have enough people following me and I have nothing to say. I'm like, it doesn't matter as long as you have a good story. Yeah. If you can stand for something and have something to put out there, that's actually what matters. It's funny you say that, because I was on the phone on a call with a successful business owner, and she has like 30,000 people on her email list. And she was like, how many do you have? And I was like, 5. And I was like, I was like, and she was like, oh my God, how, you know, and her next question was, what's the engagement? It wasn't like, oh, that's so little, right? So, and I love that you said, like, you can have a multi 6-figure business with 100 people. And I love that idea of, like, we don't need to grow these audiences to these huge amounts, right? We need to grow audiences that are engaged and that actually want to work with us and actually want our products. And I think one of the things that I was really attracted to you was like the systems and the message that I can be efficient and sell while I sleep. Can you talk a little bit more about that? And I know that's what your book is about as well.
Yeah.
It totally drew me in. Like, when you have a good message, you got a good message. And Krissy, I love that message.
I love it. Yeah, here's my book back here, but I did grab one to hold up so y'all can see it.
Good.
And Claire designed the cover, so I have to shout out Claire.
Gorgeous.
Business partner, yeah. So my first experience with this was when we launched Grow Workspace. We put that freebie out there, and we did have a group that we could promote it in, so we promoted it, and people were signing up for that freebie, and then the funnel was taking them through the offer, and people were joining. And every morning I would wake up and I would like get the Stripe notification, and there were more customers, and then they would request to join the Facebook group, and like 60 people a day were requesting, and I was just waking up to new people. And Claire shared a story recently. She goes, I just remember being out on a date, and I just kept looking down at the phone. I just kept getting like notification after notification. And she goes, I just like was smiling ear to ear. Like, I couldn't believe that this was happening. So yeah, you can sell while you sleep, but also it's just as fun to sell while you're out on date night, or you're taking the kids to sports, or you're on vacation, or whatever it is. The idea is really just that you have a system and automation set up to where you can be pouring into people and giving them value and inviting them into your offer while you're off doing the things that you want to do, taking a private client, or setting up your next system, or creating your next offer, or taking a vacation, or whatever you want. So, you know, that was really where it like hit me the most, of like, this is really cool to be able to just have some systems and automation set up that it's taking people through. And does that mean that I never, you know, get on a call and talk someone through and then they purchase it? No, of course I do that stuff too. But it's great to just have everything set up so that it can just be working behind the scenes for you.
And I love that you really pinpointed on like making the offer, inviting them into the offer, because I think that's something that people miss, right? That's the hard part for most people, I think. What have you found?
I found that a lot of people have blocks in sales because most of the time, again, let's go back. When did you experience a negative time in sales? Someone, you know, pushed you, or you weren't ready for it. And so you just have this bad mindset around it. And so you're scared to do it. But we have to shift our mindset around sales and remember that sales is happening all the time. You go to a restaurant, first of all, you're showing up expecting to purchase something. You want something from them. The waiter comes to your table and says, can I offer you a drink? You're going to have to pay for it. You know, they're not saying that, but like, yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, you couldn't have gotten here sooner. I'd like a margarita and chips and guac, please. Like, and add the appetizer. And then they come at the end and they say, can I offer you a dessert menu? They're just offering you what they have, and you get to decide if you want it. Your customers are the same. You are offering them what you have, which, by the way, if you're doing it right, you're attracting people that want it and are like, just give me the offer already, right? We have that in our masterclass. Like 20 minutes in, people will be like, I'm ready. Just tell me what the thing is. Like, they come wanting, and that is like, you're doing it right when that is happening. But yeah, just shifting your mindset to realize that when someone exchanges money, it's just an energetic exchange for what you have. Think of it more as you are providing them with the opportunity to get a bigger transformation with you, for you to impact your lives so much deeper, because you can only go so far with these little social media things. Right? And it's okay to exchange money for this. We have to feed ourselves and our kids and put a roof over our heads, so it's not this weird concept to like ask someone to exchange money for value that you can give and completely transform their life.
I totally agree. It's like, I think a lot of people put judgment on it. They're like, well, if I charge this, or most people undercharge, but they put such a value of who they are on it. But you mentioned your masterclass, and I know you have one coming up actually on my birthday. So I'll have to watch the replay, because I'm taking that day off.
Happy early birthday.
But I love it about the automating your online digital products and really having that system, because I think that people think they need to get to a certain place in their business to get there, and you're not, and you're saying no, that you can make that happen now.
No, yes. I just watched a video and then shared a reel on it where this woman was talking about taxes. She had great information, and I was like eating it up. And then she goes, I have a spreadsheet. If you want this spreadsheet, you're going to have to email me, but it's tax season, so I'm going to be really busy, so I'm not going to be able to respond to you. And I was just like, no, why is she not automating this process? Like, please come to the class. Like, I need to help you. Just be able to serve more people and save more time and all of that. So, there's little things that we can do in our business that just save us a ton of time. And regardless of if you're in the beginning stage or later in the stage, it's like, then there's two pieces to it. So setting up the automation, but then knowing the strategy, because we can set up automations all day long. And if we don't have the right message or, behind it, the right pitch, it's not going to go anywhere. We're not going to turn them into customers. So it's really this strategic automation that I talk about, and I'll be teaching about in the masterclass coming up.
Well, I'm very excited for that. Like I said, I will watch the replay, but I'd like to pick your brain for one more thing, because I remember I much watched a reel or your YouTube channel or listen to the podcast, but you were on all the platforms. And but what I love about what you put out there, and I was on another Behind the Spotlight with Haley Luckadoo earlier this morning. Where we are in our businesses, we are giving the information. And I really appreciate that about you. Like, I can actually learn from you when I listen to you, and you're not going to tell me like, just believe it, or like, you can do it, girl. Like, I like that. So you have this, I remember it was those 6 keys to your 7-figure business.
Yes. And we're going to dive into those in the masterclass.
Awesome.
So I can list them or like talk about them here, but that's something we're going to dive deep into. And really, when I talk about those keys, I want you to be thinking, this is why it's like, if you're just starting a business or if you have an experienced business, come, because I'll break these down and you'll get to basically audit your business. Like, am I doing this? Yes, no. If no, okay, I need some support here. If yes, am I doing it well? And then you get to audit your business in these 6 key areas.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. Well, I audited my website on your website, and I did not come out so great. So I have to go back and see what I think I got a 40. So I have to go back, because I would love everyone to go to the quiz, and everything for Krissy will be in the comments, and you can go find out what she's doing and what she's about. But I love that you also have different entry points into your funnel.
Yes.
And they're really interesting. I love the 50 automations you should be delegating or automating. I love the quiz, how your website's doing. I really appreciate what you're putting out in the world. But I wonder, Krissy, there's so much of that stuff going out there. I wonder, what's that underlining message you really all want us to understand about you?
Oh, about me?
Ooh. And what do you want us to get from all of this information? Because I find it really empowering, and I love tech, so it doesn't scare me. But
yeah. Okay. So here's what I want you to know, that even though I talk about this, I'm not perfect either. Like, I have funnels that I'm like, Oh, I put that offer up to like get it up so I could talk about it. And then like, I never did the email funnel. They just got their one email with the free thing. I was talking about this last night with someone and I was like, oh yeah, my plan is like to next week go finish building out those emails that I launched in the summer. Okay. So like I'm not perfect either. But again, my motto is done is better than perfect. Like let's get the offer up and start serving people. And when I go build that email funnel, I'll just like go everyone that signed up, I'll just put them in that funnel so then they can start getting it. Okay. It's not perfect, but it's going to work. It's going to work. Okay. It's going to be fine. So done is better than perfect. And with action comes clarity. And I just talk about this all the time. Just take some kind of action and you'll get some clarity. So that's really my motto. It's literally what I live by. So if it looks perfect here on the front end, like it looks clean back here, like it's a mess over here. Okay. Like that's not true.
Yes. Thank you so much for saying that, because I've been doing these behind the spotlight lives for 2 or 3 weeks now, and I'm just trying to figure out like what the covers are going to look like. Right. I think that a lot of people in our industry make you believe that you have to have it all perfect, right, all set up before you do it, rather than, like you said, just take action. And when people go look at it next week, it'll look much better than it does today. Now it's just everyone's photos. Last week it was this screen, which I didn't love on my feed, so I'm changing that. But I think it's the evolution versus the putting it out there and feeling really good about it.
Yeah, and I want to touch on that because this has been a hot conversation. I've had this conversation a lot lately, so I know y'all are feeling this. And especially kind of in the beginning, if you're feeling like it's not very good, we all started there. And actually, like two thoughts behind this. If you're just starting, it doesn't matter if you look bad because you don't have 1 million followers. Okay, your mom's watching, your best friend's watching, right? Your best friend's watching, and so like, oops, you goofed. Like it doesn't look great. And the other thing is like, even if people are watching, they enjoy watching the journey. No one wants to see this perfect thing happening. And I'm getting messages now that the book is out, with people saying, I've been on this journey with you since the beginning of Grow Workspace, which was 6 years, 2017. So however many years that is now that we're in a new year. So they're like, I've been with you this whole time and I have loved seeing the evolution of where you started and like how you've gone along the way. Like it's really inspiring, and I love watching it. So people get moved by that, by seeing you starting and fumbling and it not looking good and then seeing improvements, and that inspires them. Whether it's about building a business or it's your weight journey, like this whole like, well, I'm not the perfect size yet to start talking about weight loss. I don't want to hear it, because no one wants to just like, you have like a 6-pack and they're like, yeah, but okay. But you probably always had that, right? Like they're so inspired by like joining you on the journey. It's real, it's relatable. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there in the beginning when it's not perfect. That's my message.
Oh, I really appreciate that, Perfect. I know I needed to hear that today. I know people listening needed to hear that today. I just want to leave with talking about your book one more time, because I want everyone to go read it so we can all be automated and make money while we sleep. Where can we find it, and where should we follow you?
Yes. Okay. So the links are on my Instagram profile. So if you head over there, you can click the link and go there. I've got, of course, many reels where it talks about the book. Put the comment in, and get the link. But it's kncreative.com/book launch is for the book specifically.
I love it. And I know we're going to record next month for your podcast. So thanks so much in advance for having me on. Yeah. All the links will be in the caption for Krissy. Krissy, thank you so much for coming on and spending a little time and being on Behind the Spotlight.
Yes, absolutely. So enjoyed it. Do you want me to give them the link to the masterclass?
Oh, yes, please do.
Okay.
I'll also put it in the caption.
Oh, perfect. So it's kncreative.com/masterclass. And that's happening on the 27th on your birthday. So come join us live. There will be a replay as long as you put your email in there to register.
I did it this morning. Thank you so much, Krissy. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.